Right, boys and girls.
Come on.
Welcome back to the Lifted Lifestyle Podcast, episode 23. Wait, 22.
22.
Um,
With the disabled,
yeah,
bodied people.
I'm having an absolute shocker today. I've been having these back issues for a bit of background story. My hinging has been like on the ropes really it's been a while, hasn't it? Like
Really, it's been on and off probably for about 3 years.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like, I don't know. I've never identified someone with a bad back, but I should probably start doing that, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Probably a good idea.
And it was good. I was working my RDL up quite nicely, being chill with it. And every time I get to, closing in on 180, it just ruins me again.
I generally think it's a Reese Fitz fault. No cap.
Maybe.
Bro forced you to do a load that knew would break your back.
Yeah, no. I was doing 180 as my normal sets. Didn't do RDLs for a while.
Oh, so you know what? I'll just do 200. Why not?
Well, no. I did 180 as a warm-up and it moved really well. And Reese was watching and he hit me with one of them nods. Yeah. Sound.
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 So then I went 190 and then I got another sound.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking
No,
sound.
So then I did 200 for 3. And to be honest, the first time I did it, it was absolutely sound.
Sound.
But as soon as you do a weight once, you don't want to go back from it and
No.
do lighter. So just a bit too much time doing a load that was not too heavy for me, but like I was doing three rep sets.
Yeah, you probably got a bit ahead of yourself.
Exactly.
Realistically.
So that set me back for a bit. But now I just did some deadlifts today, and Jesus Christ,
It's not looking good, bro. That's all I'm going to say. It's not looking good.
It's going to be rough for football tonight, I tell you that.
Yeah. I just think you probably need... I think your two options are you need to generally have a proper play around with your setup. Because pulling directly from the floor, it looks so wrong.
Right, does it?
It looks so wrong. RDL, I think, is good, but after you've done it for like 4 or 5 weeks,
Yeah.
it just messes you back up.
Yeah.
Because that's what's like started it off again, realistically, isn't it? It's not the deadlift. I think the RDL's caused some like underlying issue.
The problem is I'm easily strong enough, but structurally something's going on.
Going wrong. Yeah.
So like I do, 160, I'm like, moves really easily.
Yeah.
Do it for 5, couple of reps in reserve, sound.
I think you need to try pulling off a block, but I get what you mean with it. Ultraflex, it was easy because they had the blocks.
They had the blocks, yeah.
At RT, you've got to get a bit creative, and it's sort of a bit of a faff.
Same at, I think the best was being modified, to be fair. They had the blocks with the cushion things on
the top, yeah.
Yeah, that was easily the best.
At RT, you're going to have to use like bumper plates, put a mat on top. I mean, it sounds like really not a bad issue, to be honest, but...
I'll take some time off it, I think. I'll either do a barbell row, depending on how it feels, or a...
I'd do a set of barbell row and a set of hyperextensions.
Yeah, because I think I can get my erectors working quite well with the hyperextensions without hurting anything. Like I did today, I got the fattest pump ever.
Yeah. You're also going to be walking around RT with all that ass.
Yeah. So yeah, to be fair, I think that hyperextension machine is like the most used machine in RT, so I'll have to be careful. But yeah, that's my POA, I think. And then go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Do some block pulls. See what I can set it up with. The other issue is there's not a whole lot of 20s, is there?
No, like so if me, you and Crow are hinging all at the same time, I think most of the 20s are being used. We're just so strong.
Just way too strong.
Way too strong.
You're doing 3 times body weight now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm cooking hard with
what
the old hinges.
What are you weighing? 60?
60. Well, I was 69.4 this morning, but that's like a kilo up because I ate like 5 Weetabix last night on top of my usual food.
Man.
So about
2.5 times body weight then.
Yeah, like mid to high 68s, I'd say.
That's good.
Pulling 175. Come on.
That is actually pretty impressive. What's your best ever?
I think it's like 185, and then
From
my
the
back
floor?
got ruined. Yeah, and it wasn't like, it was like touch and go.
Yeah.
And I was like 84 kilos, so
Yeah. Need to be careful it doesn't go again.
yeah. I think it'll be
won't,
fine
but-
because I'm not doing touch and go. I think is ropey.
Yeah. I remember you used to do it and it'd be like,
Yeah,
no
if you
bracing
don't,
at
yeah,
the
if you
bottom.
don't brace, that's it. You're done for.
Yeah. We've got a few questions again. 'cause
Proper
it's just-
spam in the Q&A episodes, but they are the best.
They're so much more fun to film.
We were saying, weren't we, in the car? We've actually enjoyed it way more. We enjoy it anyway, but when you've got the questions, there's less like structure, and you can sort of go off on a tangent and talk about different things.
Yeah, the thing is, when you do a normal pod, you end up we'll like talk before we do the pod about what should we do, what should we talk about, what sort of topics, and it's like, you end up doing how to do X, and you're like, right, step number 1.
Yeah, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? I do think they are. It's tough because there's probably listeners that are going to get a lot of value from that.
Yeah,
there's also listeners that probably won't.
Yeah, they're definitely useful, but maybe to a smaller subsector of people. And also, does anyone really want to be driving to work, trying to like educate themselves?
Not really
that much.
No, they sort of just want to have a laugh, which is what we want to do on the pod.
Yeah,
just have a laugh with it and enjoy it as much as we can.
A few shits and gigs. So,
no question from Guy this week, which is really disappointing. I was excited for his question to pop up.
I've got a couple. I've got like 4, 5.
I think I've got one from the question box.
We've got a couple from
from the lads,
from the chaps. Do you want to go first or me?
I'll go first because I feel like this is a good one to start.
Go on.
From Marston PT. I love this guy.
You are so good.
Still
at
can't remember
questions.
his first name.
Thank you.
But yeah, I love this guy. I'm going to try and find out his name.
Doesn't say it on his Instagram.
No. That's just got to be his second name on it. Anyway, he asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Bloody good question.
Fucking bitches getting money. Joking.
5 years? Jesus, I'll be 28. I don't know, just feel a bit ill.
I'll be 27.
Where do I see myself? I think, obviously, I'd like to still be doing the coaching from a job perspective. And I'd also like it to be fairly significantly further grown than what it is now. I don't really know why I want that. Obviously, there's the financial side, which is always nice, but it's the same as training. You just want to progress.
Yeah.
Take these little...
It's nice to just see progression.
Yeah, so I'd like to grow that. I think I'll be in the UK still, but I would like to be able to go to some more places a bit more consistently. And
I think in 5 years you'll be in the UK as a base, but I think in that 5 year period, me personally, I would really like to spend like a year somewhere.
Yeah, me too.
But again, it just depends on what's happening at that point in life.
Yeah, it's hard to organise it, isn't it, around family and
relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be something that's easily doable for us, but if we're still with our current missuses, it might be tough. But yeah.
I've recently also started going off the idea of, the classic online coach route where it's like move to Bali or move to one of these just really Dubai. Classic places.
I don't want to go to Dubai.
I just don't think that direction's for me. I don't know what, I've never been to Bali, so I wouldn't know. I'm sure it's sick when you go for like a couple of weeks, but I'm not sure
if I'd want to live there. No.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something I'd really like.
As much as I say I don't like this country, I think in the future it's going to be the place I want to live.
It's still the place you want as your base, isn't it?
Home.
Yeah.
But again, with the way things are going, who knows? It might really not be a good place to live at all.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where I'll be to answer that. Australia would be cool, but everyone's going to Australia.
Yeah. See, again, Australia really doesn't jump out to me that much. No. I'd like to go, but I wouldn't want to live there.
I think I'm more inclined to do like a couple of months somewhere if I can work from there.
I generally think one place I could see myself living for like a year is America.
Really?
Yeah, I think it would be
whereabouts?
Like Florida.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool because it's a little bit different. It's not like Australia. Like everyone goes to Australia.
Yeah. Strange that you don't hear many people going to America, do you?
And it is a good place.
I don't really know why. Like, I guess it's kind of politically,
bit
polarizing.
Yeah.
But still a really cool place. Like James the barber. Shout out to the goat of trims. Yeah. As you can see.
Yeah.
He's been going to America, hasn't he? And that, like he says, it's unreal.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll be there. But coaching wise, obviously like to progress it. It would be cool to get a few more guys on the team.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
But it's definitely not a process that you want to rush, I don't think.
No. I'd like to think in 5 years' time there will be more people within the team. I think as well, I do want to be coaching people, but I also want to be in like a sort of managerial role.
Building something a little bit bigger, yeah.
Yeah, more like you're earning money from coaching, but also it's like sort of passive income.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're coaching yourself, you can only really help, 50 to 80 people at a time.
People say it's like unlimited, but realistically it's not, is it? It's
not help well at it. Like, sure, you can set up like a group coaching or an app style thing, but like if we're honest, they do not work well as one-to-one.
I think we've always said if we're gaining clients, we want them to be like making serious progress.
Yeah.
Not just like oh, here you go, 50 quid a month.
Yeah.
Like
they're
not really going to make any progress.
I was saying on my story yesterday, like, it just doesn't. Just having a program and a nutrition plan just doesn't doesn't solve too much. It solves the base and the foundations, but it doesn't solve like actual issues.
No.
I started going off on a rant about how I don't know if you saw my story. I was putting up like check-ins done or whatever for today, and I was about to type like everyone smashing it.
Yeah.
But I was sort of thinking, it's not actually always true, is it?
No, you see people all time, team's killing it. Like, realistically, they're just saying that.
Yeah, because there's a period of someone joins, some people will just make progress straight away. In fact, most people make progress straight away, but usually there is things that need working on, or else the person wouldn't be getting coached by you.
Yeah, 100%.
Which again is why we do the one-to-one, because it's like it's the only way you can really work through problems like that.
You got to admit, people, it's not only just issues with like training and nutrition. People have like life issues that you have to help with.
Yeah.
Like a lot of coaching, like, I think people just think, you're just getting like you said, a training plan, nutrition plan.
Yeah.
It's just not the case at all.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain that to people when they're like, what actually is it?
Yeah.
Because that is on the face of it what it is, and that's the bulk of it. But there is so much more to helping someone.
It's the whole you don't know what you don't know, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we can't just like say, the classic, you get this, and this.
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever problems that person is actually facing. So, yeah, I also think it creates a false perception for your current clients when they see like, everyone's smashing it. Then they go off plan once and they,
feel guilty.
You can quite easily start feeling guilty because you're like, everyone else is being perfect.
Yeah.
No, that's the whole point of coaching.
Yeah. People are getting coached because they're not perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of a bit of a tangent from the question. Where do you want to be in 5 years?
Similar to you.
Yeah.
Just progressing in life in all aspects.
Yeah.
Potentially a family by then. Well, maybe not by then.
28.
No, probably not by then. I mean, I've always said I'd love to have a family.
Yeah.
But it's got to be the right time in your life.
Yeah.
28
might be a tiny bit
early. Like I want a family, but there's a lot of stuff I also want to do before I have a family. I think some people see that as like, that's a bit selfish. It's like, is it? It's my life. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it is, but like, okay.
But do you know what I mean? You have literally got one life.
So that's the case. So I'll be selfish.
Yeah.
Fine.
This is what I don't get. When people say, this person's so selfish for doing this, or like, are they though? Or,
they can just do what they want, realistically.
I get people can have like selfish traits and do selfish things.
Yeah.
But realistically, whatever they've done, it's their life. They can do what they want.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Where do you think you'll be from a physique/training perspective in 5 years?
I don't know.
I think...
I honestly think I'll have taken a big step back from like competitive bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I already feel like that now.
Do you think you've maybe got like a season left in you?
Yeah, probably maybe one. And even at this point, right, I've only probably said this to you, like, I've really like got no desire to.
I think it's
again. For me, the physique I want to have is similar to, like, you know, like Ben Bray was saying, how when he went down the competitive route,
yeah,
he lost that whole thing of like, oh, people used to like want to look like me,
yeah,
and be like me. Now I've gone down this route, I've sort of lost all of that.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be seen as a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I want to be seen as a guy who's got a good physique, who could do well in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But it's not like...
Yeah. Do you think
everything?
Do you think there's an aspect of? I mean, I know you've not completed it because you won a junior show, but still the
I almost feel like I've completed what I want to complete.
Yeah, like there's what's his name? Johnny Wilkinson, the rugby player, who, in his book, he speaks about how again, it's not quite the same because you've not won the whole thing, but when he won the Rugby World Cup,
yeah,
that was like the whole thing that he'd ever set out to do, and he won it, and he was like, oh right, like
what do you do now?
Yeah,
yeah. I
what's
think
next?
If I hadn't have won any shows or anything, it would probably be pretty different.
Yeah,
but I haven't. I've had that feeling. Yes, it's amazing. It is like a sick feeling.
Yeah,
and I do enjoy competing, but I think in 5 years' time, I'll sort of just want to be at a point where I am looking pretty good year round. No, like crazy pushing one side.
Yeah.
And just almost being like a really good example to clients.
Yeah.
And being that, like, again, like Ben Bray, like being that guy that everyone wants to look like.
Yeah.
That means more to me than, like, I don't know, winning a show or whatever.
Yeah, I think I agree. There's going to be another 5 years. We'll have like 15 years of training for this.
Yeah.
Nearly behind our belts. Like, that is a lot, and you're obviously going to be able to make some progress past that, but once you kind of tick that box, it might be a case of, okay, I've kind of done that job now.
Yeah,
maybe we transition a little bit.
Yeah. I do think as well, at some point, I definitely want to be more like athletic.
Yeah.
So that's, again, I'd like to be like pretty lean year round.
Yeah.
But good at like a lot of things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think
I want to be good at running. I want to be good at like conditioning, like sort of sessions.
Yeah.
And
I've obviously done a block of that through sort of 3 years of rugby. And it is fun. Like, and I'd really happily go back to doing stuff like that. But maybe you've got a bit more of an urge for it now because you've not had that.
Yeah, I think so. I think I never could go full like high rocks hybrid.
Yeah.
I think the base for me will always be like based around like hypertrophy training, things like that. So that's probably where I see myself.
Same. Good question.
Yeah, I'd like to have a good amount of money.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
I know you say people say money doesn't buy happiness, but
it does help.
Honestly, I really, that's like one statement that a lot of people believe in, but I'm actually a bit more like, the things that make me happy in life, I need money. Yeah,
but at the same time, the things that we do that, I mean, I know we're pretty similar on this. It's pretty basic. Like, if you've got a bit of sun, if you've got a bit of sea, I'm
happy. I am happy.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
So it probably doesn't take too much to eventually get to that position.
I agree. That is the one goal for me, is being able to be in the sun if I want to be in the sun at any point.
Yeah.
That would awesome. Seriously make me happy. It's not like I want a massive house, an amazing car.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, but that comes after the just freedom of being able to basically do what you want.
Yeah, I can align to that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll set up a OCHQ in like Caribbean or something. Yeah. That'll do the job.
Yeah, even like a Marbella would be pretty nice. Obviously, it's still quite a like place. Oh, you've got to go to Marbella.
Yeah,
I feel like it's less than like barley. And
Yeah.
the thing is with us, I think as well, we always speak about like, obviously we like the fitness scene, of course, but I don't want to be constantly surrounded by those people. Like, I like best friends and not into the gym, really.
No, barely.
So,
and sure, we probably roped them in a little bit.
yeah,
but...
like most of them probably train to some degree.
Yeah.
But like, my best friends are not people I've met through the gym at all.
It's not like their whole existence.
Yeah. Which I think is important. I don't want to be submerged in it all the time.
To make that the only thing that you do.
Yeah, and it's the only thing you can talk about. And
yeah, I agree. Bloody good question, Marston.
Yeah, I liked that. It was good.
These are some simple ones. I don't have Insta, but my question is, what is the worst flavour protein shake you've ever had?
Who's this?
Joe McCallum. Joe Mac. He said the worst he's ever had was jam roly-poly.
It does sound pretty rad.
I've never had that, but it sounds pretty awful. I can tell you my worst. I mean, I've had this before and it was nice, but that vanilla was disgusting.
Yeah, but I think that's
you can't
just
say
a dodgy...
that one. Yeah, that was just some dodgy pack and it tastes of soap. I'd probably say the nicest that I've had. Do you remember when Bawtry used to do that mint choc chip one?
Yeah, the Optimum Nutrition.
That was.
I don't get these. Like, why do these brands like go under the radar?
I don't know.
Because that is definitely the nicest product I've ever had. But whoever you talk to, be like, oh yeah, perform. I don't really understand it because they're really not that nice.
That was so good. I'd finish my session and just feel like drinking what felt like ice cream.
Yeah, it was unreal. But I don't know. Are the macros like bad on them? I don't think they are.
I was too young to even think that was even a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a normal whey protein.
I'll have to try it again.
Yeah.
Worst. I can't really think of one that's been horrendous. I had a lemon one that was pretty gross, but then I started putting it in my yogurt and it was quite good.
Quite nice. All depends what you put them with, I think.
Yeah.
I had that Perform cookie dough one. That really wasn't great, I'll be honest. Yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
I think it depends on your situations. Like when you're dieting, I pretty much love any whey.
Yeah, I remember you used to have the what was that one from?
It's from I know which one you mean. CMP.
Rainbow cookie or something.
I used to fucking love that. But if I had that now, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah, proper gloopy, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd probably say the Perform cookie dough one, or Crow really likes this. This is one he's got. You know the raspberry white chocolate?
Oh, no.
I really
I'm
fucking
not a fan
hate
of that one.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I remember I got a pack, didn't I? I gave it to you, and
so,
you didn't like it.
It's one of the first Perform ones I bought as well, and I was like, oh, this is gopping.
Proper sells you a dream.
Yeah, it sounds unreal, but I don't know why it tastes so bad, because it does taste like raspberry.
Yeah, but it's just
awful.
Really fake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awful.
So yeah, there's our answers. Dan Lovell, whilst using lifting straps helps me lift heavier by using them, am I also hindering potential forearm growth? That's quite a good question. What do you think?
I'd say yeah, potentially, but I don't think the knockoff of hindering forearm growth is worth not using them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you're using them when you're training your back.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to get the most out of your back development, then you should just be using them.
Yeah. If you want to grow your forearms, do some actual forearm work.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just gripping something hard. It's obviously it's isometric contraction. Yeah. It's not going through anything. So it's not going to be the most ideal way to grow anyway.
But again, over time, they're a pretty irrelevant muscle group. Yeah. Over time, they're still going to grow.
Yeah. Like my forearms have grown anyway.
Yeah.
Even
I'd say my forearms are pretty good.
Yeah.
And I haven't really I've maybe done some direct forearm work for like 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. If you actually have a look at some of the studies on it, it suggests that using straps doesn't actually take away from the forearm activity, but
it must do.
It is harder to grip onto it if you don't have them than have them. So it's going to take away a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to worry about it.
I'd never train pull or back without straps.
No,
when I have had to, when we've been like away or something, I hate it.
Yeah, you just get such a forearm pump, don't you?
And you can't connect with your back.
Yeah.
And you just slip in.
Yeah, I think there's probably a time and a place for it, but most of the time, especially if you're reasonably strong, like just use some straps.
Yeah, I noticed with a lot of people when they first sign up, they with the pulling movements, like some things they'll use them when they send a form clip. Some things they'll use them, and other things they won't. And I'm like, I don't really understand that.
A lot of people use them on barbell stuff.
Yeah, but then like they go into like, I don't know, just like your standard pull down.
Yeah,
they won't use them, and I'm like, if you're using them for your barbell stuff,
yeah, you might as well.
You know they have a benefit, so just use them.
Something I did used to do was on my last set of some exercises, I wouldn't use them, and because I knew that it wasn't taken away from anything, because obviously my back was pretty fried by that point. But like, it's a tiny thing that's not going to make a difference.
Just use them.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Another question from Dan: worst injury you've had, and do you still think about it / adjust when you're training today? Have you had any injuries apart from the back one?
I've had a few shoulder things.
Yeah.
That have flared up, but I've not had that in a long time. To be fair, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. But that was a bit annoying. But it was never that bad. Like it'd be a case of like 6 weeks I couldn't really do any pressing.
Yeah.
I've had my back. You remember when I've had that twice.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something I do think about, but I'm one of them. I just forget pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't really think about it too much.
Yeah. To be honest, I think injuries from training, they're so low risk.
Yeah.
Resistance training is so low risk.
Yeah.
So
unless you're doing something like seriously wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you're being accurate,
you
shouldn't really worry.
Yeah. The worst injuries I've obviously had was the
neck.
The neck.
Well, again, that wasn't directly from training.
Yeah, that was from rugby. So yeah, that was pretty annoying, and that still does affect my training today. For anyone who doesn't know, I basically had a slip disc in my neck. I can't remember what the actual word was that they used, because there's different levels of protrusion.
Yeah.
But basically a protruding disc. So basically meant that my right arm and right side just like was really weak.
Ideal.
Do you remember going back to train push at all splits and just like 20 kilo dumbbell press? Yeah. Which at that point was like more than half of what I was using. So that was pretty peak. That was November 2022. So it's been two and a bit years.
Yeah.
And that still like affects my training. Not so much now, but like it's unstable sometimes on pressing and on pulling overhead. Like it feels a bit wonky. So yeah, studio will think about that, but it's not horrendous now. Can kind of get away with it.
Yeah, see, I think it's improved a lot recently, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't mentioned it that much.
Yeah.
Unless you just sort of got used to it. And
yeah. The most annoying was when I was doing hinging, all the time, like every single week, I'd pick up the bar and walk back with it. And in my head, I'd be like, have I loaded this wrong?
Yeah.
Is one side heavier than the other?
But I think potentially maybe when you were hinging through that time has now maybe had a knock-on effect to why you're now getting these issues.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe with overcompensating, something like that.
No,
could potentially be a
I agree, because it was
why.
This initially started off on the same side.
Yeah.
So I do think it's probably is that
tied in together.
Yeah, because I just couldn't brace my lats or my upper back or anything.
Yeah.
So you're probably right. So yeah, that's my worst, but not too awful.
Yeah.
Have you got any others?
Yes.
Go ahead. I do have some more, but I can't find them.
I'm so disappointed, Guy.
It's normally the first one to ask some sort of rogue question.
Yeah, makes the pod.
I need to stop playing with my feet on these pods. I'm always like...
So, DC, quite a good one, this. How do you focus on training when you also have to balance coaching your clients?
That is a good question from DC.
It's a good question, but I think it's a very simple answer.
Yeah. It's not too hard, is it?
No. Go
on. We obviously just train in the morning, early doors, which is basically before we get any questions through from clients, and before we've got to do any check-ins or anything like that.
The way I look at it is, it's like our training is an hour and a half, 2 hours out of our day. So get that done first thing, unless you've got like some immediate work you know needs doing.
Yeah.
And then after that, you've got all day to deal with clients.
It's just like time management, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all routine, isn't it? Like, as long if you can nail that, it's not hard, is it?
You see a lot of coaches saying like, don't be messaging clients when you're training. Okay, I kind of agree, but if you see something urgent,
it's not that deep,
you're not just going to ignore it.
I do think though a lot of the time I don't open my WhatsApp when I'm training.
Yeah, but we don't really get much in the morning at like 7 a.m.
No.
The other thing I saw, Theo sent me this. He said he saw a thing where someone was saying to not let clients call you or be on a call with a client because the call needs to be, your time needs to be seen as like this really precious thing, and they shouldn't be getting calls because it's like, you're the man or whatever. I was like,
they're literally paying you to help them.
That's such a weird take.
Yeah, it's just
so
that's like just an ego thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I thought that was so strange. Like, fair enough if someone's phoning you like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're probably like, right, come on, like
let's organise this a little bit to maybe call every X amount of time and actually sit down properly rather than just a little chat every so often. But I don't know. That
actually
was really
I think it
odd.
should be the opposite way to what that person's saying.
Yeah.
Like, that should be your priority. Is
I agree.
Trying to get back to them as quickly as you can.
Yeah, but yeah, my day generally looks like train. I usually reply to people on the way back from training in the car if I'm not driving. Then check-ins. And then most people are working through the day anyway, so
you don't really get any messages.
You don't get a whole lot incoming then. And then after they finish working at, 5-6 o'clock, that's when you'll usually get a few messages through, and you might do calls from sort of 5 till 7:30ish.
Yeah, you've got to remember, relating back to the question, is like it's pretty easily manageable if you sort of say, well, I've got to work in the hours that people are working. It's just like any other job, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
And then you just got to understand, okay, you probably are going to have to do like lighter work till maybe 9 at night.
Yeah, so
it's not hard work.
We're just training when people are working, so our work day is slightly shifted.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's shifted a tiny bit later, isn't it?
So it's not. It is.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
We're always filming. We're doing it for you guys.
Yeah, we're doing it for you.
This is all for you.
Isaac, this is again. It's a good question. How important to you? How important? I'm guessing means do. How important do you think your own image (brackets physique) is for attracting clients? I think this is actually really important.
Yeah. I don't think there's much excuse for a coach to be in really bad nick.
I get there's going to be phases where, okay, you're not going to look as great.
No, but
you should never be out of shape and not going to the gym.
Yeah, you need to be setting the example, don't you?
Yeah, you can't like preach something to a client and then not practice it yourself. So
it's like the old, you wouldn't take financial advice from a poor man.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. So I think, I agree. I think it's really important.
Yeah, and this again relates back to what we're about to start with the pod with, where you see yourself in 5 years. Is I want to be looking good all year round from a business perspective as well.
Yeah, there's sort of two sides to that, isn't it? There's one side that's like, looking good will get more attention.
Yeah.
But then the other side is, like I say, just setting an example.
Yeah.
Even for your current clients. Like, if they never see that you're training and never see you doing anything.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Why is this guy giving me advice on something he doesn't even
like, you need to get in the gym, what are you doing missing it? And then you're missing it yourself.
You just can't be doing that.
I think fair enough. There might be certain circumstances that are, mitigating circumstances where someone might be in a rough patch or whatever and not be able to train themselves. But, the vast majority of the time, I think you've got to be setting the example.
Yeah.
And I don't think... Have you ever set a client something to do that you've never done yourself?
No, never.
I don't think so.
I can't think of anything that there would be.
Even like from a cardio perspective, if someone's trying to get into,
you've done it.
I've pretty much done it all already. So yeah, very important. I think
that is something I probably used to struggle with when we first started, was getting people to do things and be like, okay, maybe I've never actually done this level of cardio.
Yeah.
Or had my food this low. It's like, but now we have. So.
Yeah. I think that's an experience thing as well. I remember when I first started coaching, because I was, I'm obviously quite tall, etc. I've always been on relatively high food
compared to the norm. Yeah.
So when I first started, I'd be like putting someone on 2,000 calories and be like, oh, like, is this enough? Like, this is really low. And then they don't lose weight, and it's like, in hindsight, obviously that's the case. Yeah. But because I was a bit inexperienced, like however many years ago, I thought I didn't know that was a realm that you could push into. When now it seems obvious, like sometimes you got to push and sometimes you got to do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I do think it's really important to look good yourself. Simple as that.
Yeah, and also if you like go and train with a client and they're like way stronger than you, they look way better than you.
Yeah,
they'll start sort of going, does this guy actually know what he's talking about?
What the hell is going on? Yeah.
But also on the other end of it, if you go and train with a client and you're like quite a bit stronger than them, maybe your forms are like quite a bit better, and you're showing them new stuff, it's like it gives them a vision to go, there is more to this game.
You are then a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the whole, like, you need to look like what your client wants to look like and be like who they want to be.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
100%.
Even though it doesn't necessarily dictate how good a coach you are.
I do think for me, potentially, I think competing's obviously had its benefits, but I also actually think it could have had negatives as well.
Just from the image side of things.
The image that it gives off. And it's hard when you're in a prep to not be always like talking about that, and because that's all you're thinking about. It's very easy to direct your content and stuff into that. And that's something I'd like frustrates me a little bit. I'm like, oh, well, I've made myself out and come across as such a bodybuilder. Yeah. Even though I'm not, just because that's all I was thinking about at that time.
Yeah.
So I think potentially some people may have been pushed away from that. Yeah. Thinking like, Jesus, this guy's really extreme. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
Why would I go to him for it to be a coach?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, we were slipping down that route, weren't we? Which is why we set up this pod. Because we fully... right, this whole pod and this whole like trajectory of our coaching started from being quite heavily drunk. Sat... Sun was setting.
We were really bloody drunk.
And we were speaking to each other just going, what are we doing?
Yeah, I remember we even got it up, the pod, didn't we, on the phone, and we were watching it through whilst we were absolutely steaming. We were like, this is just not us.
Yeah, it wasn't aligned, was it?
This is no, like, hate to, like, Ryan, Lawrence, and Harrison at the time, but it probably all came from, like, that and the people that we were doing it with.
Yeah.
We probably lost our actual... like personalities and stuff because we were with them, which again, they're really good friends to us.
Yeah.
But that's probably not where we wanted to take things.
Yeah.
And again, I'll be honest, since it's just been us two, it's been a million times better in terms of the pod and the business. And again, that's no hate to like Ryan and that. But I think he'll admit himself, he's probably now very bodybuilding orientated and he wants to attract people who want to be bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Whereas we actually don't want to do that.
Well, we obviously realised that, a couple of months in or 6 months into having that like bigger team, realised that maybe we were losing like our kind of unique selling point and values for what we like to do. And we were like, okay, Ryan, you be... more on the bodybuilding side, and then it just didn't,
I think in the end that's probably why
as well.
People went different ways, is we just all had sort of different ideas of what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think with me and you, I think the difference is with me and you is obviously we've been like really good friends since nursery.
Yeah.
And we've always grown up liking the same things, doing the same things, which is why now it probably works so well.
Yeah.
Because... we both want it to be in the same direction.
Yeah, it was like it's really aligned.
Do the same things. Whereas when it was more of us, and again, at this point when we started up, we'd probably only known like Ryan, Lawrence, Harrison for half a year.
Not long, was it?
You don't know someone enough at that point.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, looking back, we were probably just too giddy and excited about it all that we didn't actually sit down and think, where do we want to take things? Like, we never had that conversation at the start.
Yeah, not properly.
Like, where do you want to take things? Where do you want to take things?
Yeah.
Because then we probably would have realised, okay, we're not all on the same page.
Yeah. I remember on the pods, talking about coaching and where you want to take it. And I always, there's the whole coaching bodybuilders, all of this, want to move into prep coach and all that. I was always sat there like a bit quiet.
Yeah.
And I remember Harrison messaged me and he was like, why are you not like speaking on the pods very much?
Yeah.
And I was just like, it kind of made me realise maybe this isn't
the right thing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's important that we probably are honest about that.
Yeah.
And actually, because I can see from the outside looking in, if they don't know us all and we haven't spoke to people about it, they'll be like, oh, why did this person leave? Why did that person leave?
Yeah.
I honestly think some people probably think there was like beef.
No. We're still all friends.
Yeah.
I
we were all
Ryan,
talking.
Are we friends,
morning.
right?
Like, we were literally all talking in a group chat this morning, weren't we? So
yeah.
I think we want to make that clear. There's no like beef between us all.
Yeah.
Other than I want Rise coaching to go to the dirt. No, there's definitely no beef. We just all had different ideas of where we wanted to take
different trajectory, isn't it? But I think when we set it up, we were probably like fairly engrossed into the sort of bodybuilding culture.
Yeah, 100%. We were definitely more BBs.
Train out of Ultraflex, started speaking to more bodybuilders, and it starts like kind of
suffocates
coming in, and
you can get really caught up into it and think that's what you want to be and what you want to be like.
Yeah,
but we definitely don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's strange, isn't it? Because we do still live our life like bodybuilders.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
We probably just have a little bit more of a... I don't know how to explain it.
There's not a lot of difference, is there?
There's not. I think we're probably better at switching off.
Yeah.
We always say like it's like an on-off switch. Like when we're on, we are 100% on.
Yeah.
But we probably switch off more than bodybuilders do.
Yeah.
And when we do switch off, it's like we're off.
Yeah.
Like we're just enjoying ourselves.
Yeah. And I've definitely noticed with new people coming in, a lot of the time when I'm on that sort of first call with them, they say, like, I want to get lean, I want to lose some body fat, etc. But almost always like, I don't want to get really, really lean.
Yeah.
I want to get down to like 10%, look good, have some abs, etc.
Yeah.
But not be like inside out peeled face like.
Yeah. I think again that comes back to what I was saying earlier about how maybe that potentially for me has pushed people away.
Yeah.
Which is now why, again, I'm not like said out to Ryan about this, but I have sort of taken a step back from that.
Yeah.
You've got to think like, okay, for me, what goes through my mind is, do I want to be a really good competitive bodybuilder and like that be like my lifestyle, or do I want to be like still looking really good, but business being my priority? And it's definitely that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make decisions off.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, okay, and I want to have a really good business, and
yeah, I would. It's hard to know if it has like made any impact or not. But I know some people, like when I've shown them like about bodybuilding, and kind of spoke to some people about it.
Like,
they'll obviously pick up show them your photos and like, Jesus Christ,
yeah, exactly.
Like, what is going on there? But when you're in it, if I'm training with you every day, I'm like, okay, it looks like wild, but I'm not like. Ugh.
Yeah, you're not like, oh, that looks disgusting.
Yeah, because you see it all the time. Yeah. It probably doesn't look it's not disgusting. But it is it's extremes, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I do enjoy pushing to that extreme.
Yeah.
Which is why I want to compete again, because it is cool getting that lean.
Yeah.
But from a business perspective, I don't know if it's the best move for me and what I actually want to do with my life.
Yeah, like what about from a personal perspective? Like,
I really don't think it's not what it's like stepping on stage and winning little shitty trophies. It's not what I want to do with my life. You know what I mean? I want to be like a role model to people, and I want people to look up to me and be like, he looks really good. He has a sick life.
Yeah.
I want to be like that.
Yeah. It's so unbelievably niche, isn't it?
Yeah.
The actual bodybuilding scene.
which again it comes back to like the Ben Bray thing. Is like, I personally think he did so well because he had a really good physique. He was showing his life and being really honest about his life.
Relatable, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like that's so sick.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're just sacking stuff off because you're not out and out BB. Like you're still being like. I couldn't tell you to do something else.
No,
apart from not having your 5 Weetabix at night, mate. Yeah, terrible.
Exactly. But yeah, I just think for me, the direction is like, it's not bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That kind of brings it full circle to that first question. 5 years, 5 years time.
Yeah. I think that was a good part. Have we got any more?
No. I think that's it.
Another enjoyable pod.
Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed the pod ski. Episode whatever, 22, something like that. Like and subscribe. There's some free stuff below if you want it.
Yeah, get involved.
And share it to your story, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bosh.
Ciao.